have to do that with the hammer, but...
Well,
Congratulations, I guess.
Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
This is So I'm watching Teen Wolf, Season 5, Episode 7.
Strange Frequencies.
This one's fine. It kind of felt like filler.
They're all still having these visions of stuff, even though it's not really happening, because the Dread Doctors are on a frequency you cannot comprehend. It's so weird.
I mean, I found it to be a little bit effective, but you were like, okay, dude. No, the visions were evocative. They got reactions, multiple reactions from me. They were gross, gnarly.
Yeah.
It really felt like they had upped a level.
Really grim with Scott just constantly seeing the bloody leash of his supposedly brutally killed dog.
Well, the dog attacked him, I think. I don't remember.
Well, the leash is dripping in blood.
Oh, it's his dog. It's the leash.
Oh, God.
He's still having that,
So many stabbings.
Kira!
She's all possessed.
And a lot of stabbing through the neck and stuff.
Yeah,
but
Malia, and 3 bear traps, and then stabbed through the neck. No, thank you. It's enough of that.
And then the Kira stabbed Scott through the neck.
Yeah.
And then, although the mason cutting his hand was really effective.
Really cool.
Is this actually Kira?
I think so. Ow! What the? Oh, okay.
Sorry,
so maybe not then.
Liam said pain. He said it makes you human.
That was really cool.
That was, we neglected to mention that in the last episode, that Scott is apparently very distrustful of Kira now, because even though he didn't tell her about it, he saw her
taking Theo's
yoked
word.
Kitsune.
Yeah.
Theo.
I didn't finish making my points. What I wanted to say is all of the fantasies were good. They were very violent. They were very effective. However, this is one of those examples of diminishing returns for me, because we do this literally every season. There's an episode where they wander around one of the established sets and see traumatic fantasies. Yeah. And so
but also it's while they are at once doing one thing but then also secretly doing a second thing, and it's just what if we all just talk to each other? And that's not usually an issue I have with Teen Wolf as a show, as opposed to I have that issue with Buffy a lot, where I'm what if we had this conversation went on for 3 more sentences and everything would be fine? And that's not usually something I have here, but we've got Scott is lying to Kira, Theo's lying to everybody, Stiles is lying to Scott, everybody's lying to Hayden, and by, extension, Liam, and Mason knows just enough to be dangerous, and it's, there's too many people working kind of at cross purposes, which is frustrating.
I will say that of the visions, and I guess the Dread Doctors were causing them. I think so. I imagine. I don't remember if they specifically explained it, and
through the
or
frequency you cannot imagine.
I really liked Parrish's. I liked the Lydia. I feel like whatever his deal is, I feel like they're using Lydia to get to him, but I don't think she's involved in it.
No, I don't think so.
But I feel like maybe it's attached to her being a banshee. I'm not sure.
I think it's the same as all the rest of them, where it's they used Kira to get to Scott, but it wasn't actually Kira. But it's just, that's what his fear is. And so Parrish's fear would be setting Lydia on fire.
But yeah. But basically, we opened up with Liam and Hayden back at cinema.
Werewolves and dead doctors?
Dread Doctors.
Whatever. Get away from me.
Yeah, because he shows her the face and she screams and punches him. It's actually really funny.
Why did he growl so loud and hard? She's basically is like, it was creepy enough when you told me to close my eyes, and then you held the thing up, and that was really creepy too. And now you're trying to tell me that there's like creepy doctors and werewolves and stuff, and so he just like shifts his face and growls at her, and she's cold cocks him in the face.
Wait, he's like, wait, let me show you. And you can, I really love this element of it, is because it's like, you can tell that he's sort of like, what would Scott do?
Sure.
And it's like, okay, but also you have to remember that your dad's a dummy too.
Yeah.
And it barely worked for him. Like, the only reason why it even remotely worked is because we were dealing with Kira, and she was already kind of primed for that. But he just, you're right, it is specifically the growl though, because he shifts his face, but he like roars in her face, and she screams. She's like, ah, boof.
Yeah, right in the schnoz. Right in it.
And then peels out of there in her car. We said it in our watch along, but I'm feeling better about Hayden now. I remember not liking her, and I think maybe I was taking some of my other confusion and frustration out on her. I don't really remember where her arc goes, so maybe we
still get annoyed.
But I actually have a vague memory of warming up to her, so I don't know if you are a fan of hers or Hayden yourself. I'm sorry, I was being hard on you.
Maybe I don't remember at all is the problem, but I'm like, maybe we were thinking of like, maybe we were conflating her with like Derek's little girlfriend, like young
Cora?
Derek's girlfriend. No, Cora's Derek's sister.
Yeah,
like, but Derek's little girlfriend from the
Paige.
flashbacks. But she was
fine
only in
too,
like a couple episodes, and I don't really have a huge problem.
I said it in the watch along. I was
but
like,
they're both pretty brown-haired girls.
Yeah,
so.
I was like, I think that there was a lot. Like, the show changed a lot, and we got a lot of new little twerps.
Yeah.
And I think I was taking it out on her.
Well, and Theo is the twerpiest twerp. Him and Stiles are like staking out the animal hospital because they've got Josh in there, who was the one that Theo killed last week, and then was like, please don't tell Scott. And so they have this whole long conversation about like, Stiles doesn't trust him and he never will. But also like Theo's eyes didn't turn blue. So like the person he killed wasn't an innocent, but then they get into a whole conversation about like, well, that could just be.
No, maybe you just don't feel bad about it. And which begs further.
So many further questions where, again, to compare it to Buffy, I'm getting into a very like, this is like the Souls kind of place where it's like, you can't tell me that if you kill a human person, your eyes turn blue, and then have them kill a person and their eyes don't turn blue. You know what I mean? And so it's like, do you want me to be going on this philosophical journey with you, or are you trying to tell me new information?
I think that I think it's a trick. I don't remember.
That he can just keep his eyes yellow?
Yeah, I don't know. Because the other thing that I remembered about Theo was in this episode. It was, he tells... Stiles was also in rare form. It felt like he was the audience surrogate for that entire arc.
You think I've got some kind of ulterior motive? More than likely. Would you believe me if I said all I've ever wanted is for you guys to trust me? Nope. No. So you're here because you're never going to trust me? Yeah. Glad we had this talk. You know who you remind me of? Theo, I don't care. My sister. She was smarter than everyone, too. And a pain in the ass like you. You know, I was the one that found her body. She'd fallen into a creek, broken her leg. I told her she would have been okay if it wasn't one of the coldest nights of the year. And when I found her, all I could think was that I should have known. Why are you telling me this? Because even if you don't trust me, and even if you don't like me... I'm still gonna be looking out for you.
That looks like Jughead Jones.
Blah, blah, blah.
But then again,
and then it just fades to a flashback of her in a very shallow creek. Granted, I mean, he said that she had a broken leg
it's not
and
like
it was
she's
cold.
It's not like she's drowning, but
she's just laying in a puddle.
Going, Theo, help me. And he is up on that fucking bridge just watching her die. And
I don't remember what comes of this, if anything. Like I said, that scene is the thing that I remember. And I'm sticking with my whole And he also had another scene where he, like, talked to the Dread Doctors.
Oh,
He,
yeah.
like, conspired with them. And I don't like the way that he talks to them. It's like, I barely like the Dread Doctors, but also I'm like, who do you think you
like, is
are?
he their boss?
Yeah, and
It's
if
really,
so,
he's
how?
like, you're supposed to tell me about everything. And then the doctor was like, inconsequential.
It's like they're in the room.
You like my Dread Doctor's voice?
If we were doing this long journey with Theo, I wish the show wasn't constantly undermining it by reminding us that he's untrustworthy.
Bad, yeah.
That he's like, and it would be one thing if we just saw like a creepy flashback or like a weird, like where he did something shady, but it's like we're watching him in cahoots with the villain.
Yeah, he can still be suspicious without us outright knowing he's evil.
Because I think it was in one of our watch-alongs too, but I compared it to Matt from season 2.
Yeah.
It's like that was way more effective.
Yeah.
Where Matt was more like a wild card. And even when he got a little bit incel-y, it's still, I wasn't like, this is clearly our,
the guy.
Our villain. It was like, oh, maybe you're just a creep. I don't know.
But you're right. It's like, it would be as if we found out that he was controlling the Kanema in the episode where Allison finds out he's taking pictures of her.
Yeah.
And that's like episode 3.
And then they keep trying to have it both ways.
Yeah.
We had some really great material from Sheriff Stilinski and Melissa McCall.
Oh.
They were sleuthing.
So good. I love the scene at the beginning where...
This book, this is what I keep coming back to.
But still no leads.
Which makes me wonder if I've been coming at it from the wrong direction.
What do you mean?
The whole time I've been looking at this and I've been thinking science fiction. But they're not dread scientists, they're dread doctors.
So now you're looking for a medical connection? You're not asking me to hand over medical files without a court order, are you?
I would never ask you to do that.
Good, because they may take away this key card, which allows me access to medical records. Do you want to see how the key card works?
I would love to see how the key card works.
Follow me.
He's like, hey, I need to know, like, you know, these are doctors. The Dread Doctors are doctors. I need to know if there's
That was good, too, where he was like, I've been approaching it like it was science.
But I need to approach it, like, medically. And she just looks at him and goes, I hope you're not asking me to give you confidential medical files. And he's like, no, of course not. And she goes, good, because then they'd take away this badge that lets me into the records room. Do you want to see how it works? And he's like, I sure do. Let's go.
And they determined that all of the chimeras are actual, like the people already had multiple DNA.
Some sort of transplant. Two of them had skin grafts. One of them had a corneal transplant. And Hayden had a kidney transplant. And
so I guess their bodies are like already primed for whatever it is the Dread Doctors are doing.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. That's really effective. I like that. And I think that is also part of my frustration with the back half of the show is because I've watched shows just get bad.
Yeah.
And it's like, it would be one thing if a show...
True Blood.
if a show just got bad. But it's like the fact that I keep seeing glimpses of the show that I originally fell in love with.
Yeah, it's almost worse.
Yeah, but I'm feeling, maybe it's the 10 years that have passed, but I'm feeling a little bit more generous this time around.
Sure, giving it a little grace.
Well, I'm a little bit doing... I think because, again, like I was so in... When it was airing and 3B was so good, I was sort of holding it to an unfair or a higher standard.
Yeah.
Where now I'm back at that whole, like, I'm just going to ignore the stuff
fun.
I don't like.
Isn't it just fun?
Yeah.
No, I get to that place when I watch Buffy, too, where I'm like, I'm just not going to pay attention to this episode because I don't like what it says about certain characters.
Parrish went and got Josh,
yeah. But he flipped Stiles' Jeep and...
Just like that crazy old lady prophesized in the beginning.
And again, cold-cocked Theo right in the face.
So good.
Just a
fist
funny. Of fire coming through the window.
Flaming slow-motion fist.
What? A scent. Like smoke, like something burning.
Incredible. No notes. Come on, the poor Jeep.
It was so good.
Very funny. And then the Kira thing where, okay.
Oh, yeah, her mom went ham
on her. Her mom comes in with a sword and just starts attacking her.
Wailing on her.
Mom? What
Tina, where's your sword?
This is really aggressive. Do we get an explanation for this? And it goes on for like minutes, this fight that they're having. And then she almost kills her mom because the kitsune takes over until her dad like has one of the tails or whatever. And then she like goes home for a nice little acupuncture spa treatment, but then she's taken all of the pins
Needles,
out of
yeah.
her and written 115 on her headboard, which we don't know what that means yet. But then, so we actually don't know where she is because she was not actually attacking Scott.
No, she wasn't, but I think she's who left that dead body on Melissa's counter.
God. Oh, that's Kira's sword. Sure, could be.
I
Yeah.
think it kind of had like Lady Deathstrike fingers. It looked like.
Yeah.
And she was
be.
she was leaving Melissa a present.
Yeah.
She was trying to teach her how to hunt.
Come on. Lydia had a vision about Tracy, and then she ripped her tongue out, which was pretty gross.
Who I guess Theo rescued Stiles from
Yeah,
the
just
flaming
you
Jeep.
know, jostling his spinal column around.
You were like, don't yank him out. He could have had a broken spine. And I'm like, the car's on fire. Like, you gotta do something.
He just put it out with a fire extinguisher, and then he jostled Stiles
okay.
all the way out the window. Oh, Corey and Mason had a little cutie thing.
Mason. You're Mason, right?
Yeah. You're Corey.
You saw Lucas that night.
Yeah, I met him. He's really cool.
Did he say anything about me?
I mean, I already told the cops everything I know. I'm really sorry.
It wasn't technically a meet cute because they've already met, but
Yeah.
they were continuing.
Although
to
Corey
meet.
said, "You're Mason, right?" As if they hadn't
Sure.
like officially met, but they like know each other from school.
So then, yeah, they did.
Yeah, and he was looking at a book about miracle healing or something, and so Mason kind of figured it out that he was also in the Chimera Club.
And then they got hot and bothered at cinema.
What are we doing here? Oh. I thought that was a cigarette or a joint or something at first. Damn, kid.
Damn, Corey.
You okay? Better than ever.
Well, Corey was like going to town on whatever drink that was. I assume a vodka soda.
A single one.
Yeah.
It's like a White Claw.
It was huge though.
No, I
It was, like,
know.
inside- it was in like a water glass.
He falls into the category of the new twerps that I like.
He's an okay twerp. Mason's an okay twerp. Liam's an okay
Mason's a
twerp.
great Mason. I've got no qualms with. I wanted him sooner, but didn't Leah do it? Was she? Oh well, yeah, she got the bear trap. But
Yeah. Two or three bear traps and then stabbed through the neck.
ultimately, is what they were trying to do. Is they were trying to lure the Dread Doctors out because they're Scott. It happens a lot. It's fine, but they're sort of like, well, we don't know what to do, but it's episode 7, so we got to do something.
And it has to be with the Telluric currents.
Yeah, and so he very clearly explains what they're gonna do, and then well into the night, I guess Liam finally puts 2 and 2 together and then freaks out.
And it's like, why are you using Hayden for bait? And then, but it's like they don't. So they're staking out the animal hospital because they think the doctors will go there to get Josh. But they're also staking out the school because they think the doctors are going to come there to get Hayden because she's like not finished yet or whatever. And so Parrish goes to, or no, maybe that's what the animal hospital is about. Anyway, whatever. They're trying to figure out who's taking the bodies.
Parrish takes the bodies.
So
and then
Parrish is taking the bodies, and then at the school, because Scott goes to find her pills because all of a sudden she needs her pills in the middle of the night. What medication schedule are you on, dear? Like,
well, to be fair, this is Beacon Hills. It could have been 5:30 in the afternoon.
That's true. That's true. But Also, whatever kidney transplant medicine you're taking, I'm sure needs to be taken with food, and there's nothing in there but dirty gym shorts.
So the doctors do show up.
Yeah.
They take both Hayden and Liam. They did something to Liam. He was like plugged into a weird water cooler of like blood or something.
I was like, is it wolfsbane so that he can't fight back? Because he like was not able to even like get up or anything.
And then they were like doing something to Hayden.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of
it.
So it was fine. Very peace movie. Very sort of like
definitely very episode 7
of 10.
Yeah.
If it was episode 7 of 12, this one would have been amazing. But 7 of 10,
not great.
I don't know what I'm talking about.